CA AVSR Kushwanth. I'm not sure if I read it properly. Yes, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, jury members, respected jury members, and the fellow colleagues, and the AI committee. And my use case is about a FinChat, where we are talking about the finance. And what if our books have thinking capabilities? They can think and they can act on their own. And also, what if we find a way to have a chat with them rather than just reading the books? What if we find a way to chat with them, something like a podcast? So for this, I had chosen these type of tools where I can interact with the books. The books doesn't mean the normal books, I mean the books of accounts. So as a backend, I'm using the Python, and as a front end, I'm using the White plus React. And to connect with my books of accounts, which is the most popular software Tally, I'm using the ODBC connector. And as a backend, I'm using the Gemini AI API, which is available at free of cost up to certain limits. So without any further delay, I'm going to start my use case. So this is running currently in locally because we can see here local host. So this is the front end which was developed using the React plus White by the ChatGPT itself. I went to the ChatGPT and asked for this type of interface, and it gave me the interface. Over here, I'm selecting the financial layer, and I also opened the Tally in the back, which is some kind of test data. And upon clicking on connect, my software is going to directly connect with the Tally software using the ODBC. So the first, it is asking me the organization name. I'm typing it to be like my name. And who is the proprietor, because it is a proprietary organization. So how it exactly determines whether it is proprietor partnership. So what I did over here is that in the Tally, we're going to give the GST number. From the GST number, I'm collecting the PAN. From the PAN, I'm trying to determine the status, whether he is a proprietor or partnership firm, and based on that, it's going to act accordingly. So let it be some kind of name called Rajesh. Now it starts collecting the data from the Tally. For example, if I do not have Tally also, if I have my books of accounts in Excel, I can also connect with the Excel. So what exactly this is doing? Now using the ODBC, it is trying to import entire daybook into an Excel, and post that it will try to post ledgers, and after posting ledgers, it will try to prepare the trial balance so that any question that I'm going to ask, it has an on-hand information. Over here, I can do one thing. I can just stream the information directly, but I'm not doing that because each and every time I try to stream the information, I have to wait for 40 seconds to 1.5 minutes. So to counteract that, at the initiation of the bot itself, I'm trying to fetch the entire data on real-time basis from the Tally data, which will take approximately 45 seconds to 1 minute based on the volume of the data. The current Tally data is consists of approximately 1200 entries. So it is taking the data, and it may take 20 to 30 seconds more. Yeah. Over here, first it had imported the entire daybook, which is the watches. Then it had loaded the entire XML data and converted it into Excel and so on. And now I had the entire Tally data in a backend Excel sheet. So over here, for example, I want to know the cash balance on so and so date. What is my cash balance? As on, for example, 14th May 2023, because I have selected a financial 23-24, and my Tally data is also of 23-24 financial year only because it is a test Tally data. And upon clicking on enter, now it will perform the calculations and it will give me the particular cash balance. So to do this, so the cash balance on the 4th, it gives me the date in the reverse format, year followed by month followed by the day. So the cash balance is 5,98,711 rupees. So how exactly the system able to identify that this is my cash balance? So as soon as I'm typing a prompt, this prompt is getting transmitted from front end to the back end, and the back end is transmitted into the Gemini AI, and Gemini AI is just trying to identify what exactly I'm trying to ask, and based on it, it is giving me the response. And for example, I want to know more than 10,000 cash payments, to be exactly Section 48 compliance of the Income Tax Act. For example, in Tally, if you press on Alt F12, and if you try to filter out the data, the major issue is that If, for example, to a person, we had made two payments. For example, one payment is of 6,000 and to the same person, I made another payment of 5,000. Per day, it exceeds 10,000, but the tally can't able to catch those type of things. So I had trained this particular tool exactly to identify and tackle these type of things. So I can simply write section 48 complaints and click on enter, and it will open an Excel file. And this is the list of more than 10,000 cash payments which are grouped together based on the date and based on the ledger. And currently it also includes the drawings. Due to lack of time, I can't able to skip that particular capital account from this particular list. However, in future, I'm planning to skip that particular capital account from this. And similarly, for example, I want to send a statement to, for example, I want to send a statement of one of my data to that particular person. We can directly tell this particular bot to do that and it will also do that. For example, send a mail to, for example, I'm just going to send a self mail of cash ledger as required for the audit purpose. And as soon as I click on enter, it will start taking the particular ledger out from my tally and it will start sending the mail within 4 to 5 seconds based on the amount of data that it has. So email sent successfully. So let me just show my email ID over here. So here I got the cash statement with an AI generated information. So over here I'm going to get my running balance and all the required information. And as we all know that ICAI recently came with a guidelines stating that all the non-corporate entities are like a proprietorship or partnership type of organizations need to follow a guidelines with a prior reporting. And the onus, the responsibility of preparing that lies with the CS. So it is very much difficult to prepare all those things. So I had trained this particular bot to specifically do that particular thing also. So for example, I can simply write generate financials. And by the way, it also supports local vernacular languages like Telugu, Hindi, and everything because Gemini AI also supports it. It also supports the same. Generate financials as per ICAI format. And if I click on enter, it will take a couple of seconds. So here I did the grouping with the AI API. And if AI can't able to determine how to do that, then I made a bot to ask the user about that particular grouping. If AI got confused, I told it not to confuse, ask the user. So over here, with a single prompt directly from the tally data, I got in the ICAI prescribed format. The entire things along with the schedules and everything. Balance sheet, profit and loss with comparisons and withdrawals and capital contributed during the year in case of capitals and the schedules and everything, including the depreciation statements, additions and deductions and the schedules. Other than P&L, we're going to get for every other schedule and the balance sheet a comparison figures because we're going to have an opening trial balance. But coming to the profit and loss account, we can't able to get the P&L account because in the tally data, we are not going to have the previous information. So for this, I'm trying to link it with the two tally data, which is currently under progress. So over here, when we need to talk about the most important concept, the privacy of our client information, because here various tricks I'm using the AI. So with respect to the privacy, I had taken care that the entire code works offline only the classification purpose. For example, I want to know whether there is something like salaries payable, whether it comes under current liability or capital account. So these type of classifications where the user is deviating from the tally prescribed groups and they are not easily understandable. Only in that particular cases, I'm using the AI to bifurcate the things. And based on the response that I'm going to receive from the AI, I have just designed this particular entire financial statements. And it also answers the general queries because it has API key and it is an AI model. So I designed this using the Gemini and ChatGPT. ChatGPT played a key role in designing the user interface and everything, and whereas Gemini played a key role to give me the answers with smaller logic had used entirely free accounts. I had never ever used any kind of paid accounts for the AI. So due to that, the Gemini had helped me in solving the uh, minute logics, and whereas ChatGPT has helped me in solving the major things like
1
the
minute left.
creating the interface and everything. And with this, I want to conclude, and I thank the AI company for giving the opportunity. So, any questions, sir?
So first of all, again, you're making our jobs tougher. So every participant, the the tech understanding and the tech depth is way above than regular CA from a CA perspective. The using of React was very surprising to me. So because it is little tougher than XML or HTML. Sorry, HTML as a front end, and using the Gemini AI, very good, fantastic idea. Using that within the limits of free paid version, that's good. But there is a catch which will come later. So blending this Python, Gemini, React, and ODBC was very good one, and I know it is not an easy task. The possibilities are very, I mean, limitless. Initially, I thought it's all just going to be a chatbot, but you have brought in a functionality since it is running in local. It is trying to open the Excel, bring up the data, open in Excel, sending an email. I think I'm sure you would have done the Gmail Exchange extension. Finance with schedules. Uh, Awesome. And for the two previous year period, you need not open two multiple companies. You can improve I mean, increase the period from the, say, for example, 2022 to 2024. Then I think it should be possible within that. I'm not sure if I'm understanding it rightly. Opening multiple tally within the companies and connecting with ODBC is a challenge, but I think it is doable. I think you will definitely do it. One catch, I would say to everyone who wants to inspire from you and do it, and from your end as well. Testing is fine with Gemini API, free API. We have to be mindful that free APIs do use your data for training. So for production purposes, please use paid versions, which has the SOC2 certification. So this is the only uh, thing which I wanted to share to all who are getting inspired from you and trying to do whenever you use APIs. Otherwise, I don't have any questions. It's a fantastic presentation.
Thank you. So the one thing that I want to add is that
No.
at my locality, the clients usually maintain two tally, each and every tally data for each and every year. So due to that, it is a challenge for us. So I'm planning to do that. So if the data lies within the same tally data for the two consecutive years, then it will directly fetch
Okay,
it.
understood, understood. I got the practical problem. Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Wonderful presentation, sir. Just one question. You said you've been using Gemini's API to integrate AI into this, right? So
Yes.
when you, let's say, put a prompt like you did here to generate financials as per the ICAI format, have you connected that API, or have you already set a knowledge base for that? Or is it directly accessing the web and taking information from there?
No. So, I missed out a point. The point is that here in the Python code in the backend, there are already predefined functions, which are with respect to the tally. So what API is exactly doing is that it is mapping that function with this particular thing. So if I specify other than I say any other name, it won't work out because it is not directly doing from the original outside source. I had done the hardcore coding of approximately 5,000 lines.
Right,
And
exactly.
all the lines are grouped together and doing this particular tasks.
Yes.
Right. Great. Thank you.
So my question is more of extension. Rishi asked my question. Now extension to that is we are getting output in the desired format in what
Yes.
is, yeah. Now one challenge what happens is auditable. So how do you link back to the original books? Because the terms used in the original books or tally would be some slightly different, and then you are clubbing and doing formulas and rule based, and then getting this. How from that Excel, if somebody is trying to audit it back, whether the numbers are right, how can you audit it?
So actually two things here I'm doing, sir. The first thing, I'm not directly linking both the things unless there is a direct relevance. For example, the purchase accounts always go to the purchases. Unless there is direct relevance, the thing I'm doing is that, for example, if the user has changed from purchase accounts to procurement accounts, this software is going to crash. So as a fail safe, what it is that whenever there is some kind of unidentified ledgers, send it to the AI. AI will do the classification. If AI also can't able to do the classification, then ask the user directly over here. He will give the response, and based on his response, you act accordingly. I had designed it.
So what happens, for example, generally a company, for normal manufacturing company, a vessel, a truck would be an asset,
Yes.
but or a car would be an asset. But for a car dealership or a manufacturer of car, those are inventory.
Yes.
So how would the AI distinguish whether this is a business or this is an asset?
So I had did the classification starting from the groups. So the cars, if it is an inventory, it will go to the stock in hand group, and if it is a fixed asset, it will go to the fixed asset group. So starting from the groups, I came below, and based on it, I had taken the actions. So can I show the Excel?
No,
Which is going to
I
have the
get it.
information.
I catch it what you're saying. I'm good. Uh,
Okay.
I got your. I'm satisfied with the response. Thank you.
Okay.